Good evening, I'm Byron Scott with a CTV News Update. Prince George's County Council member Walla Blagay wants to bring traffic safety measures to county roads following that fatal collision that occurred 2 days ago. This was the scene Tuesday along Ritchie Marlborough Road. Investigators say the driver of the car tried to overtake another vehicle before slamming into a landscaping trailer. The crash killed 18-year-old Kaylee Haygood. The driver, also 18, suffered non-life-threatening injuries. Blagay says she spoke with the Department of Public Works and Transportation yesterday about traffic safety issues.
We have requested a traffic study and even more so immediate action on putting traffic lights there and even speed bumps, anything to slow people down. The reality is that in my district, there's been a lot of development, and the infrastructure hasn't proven it, hasn't been there to actually support it. So not only did we talk about Ritchie Marlborough Road, we talk about Ritchie Road, we talk about Westphalia Road. We're going to be having a town hall next week so we can hear from people about the safety issue here and what needs to be done.
Blagay says that meeting should take place sometime next week. Well, a former Laurel police chief is found guilty of being a serial arsonist. 71-year-old David Crawford was found guilty on all 12 charges in connection with a dozen fires in Maryland over the course of a decade. Crawford was arrested in March of 2021 on a number of arson and attempted murder charges. His first case started with a fire in Prince George's in 2011. He was also linked to a series of arsons in Howard County several years ago. The fires were linked to victims with whom Crawford or his wife had previous disagreements. One of the nation's largest Muslim civil rights advocacy groups is backing a bill that will provide accommodations to religious students at Maryland public colleges. Members of the Council on American Islamic Relations, also known as CAIR, held a press conference in Annapolis today. The group is backing House Bill 912, which is sponsored by Delegate Gabriel Acevedo of Montgomery County. The bill will require each public higher education institution to adopt a written policy that creates academic accommodations for faith-based students.
House Bill 912 is about ensuring that all students on our campus, particularly those that have deeply held religious and faith-based beliefs, are able to not just be accommodated, but are able to pursue their academics while also recognizing that the institution sees them and recognize their religious beliefs, and they're able to practice that and be accommodated regardless of the university or college that they go to in the state of Maryland.
A hearing was held on the bill this afternoon in the House Appropriations Committee. Well, 24-hour tobacco shops will soon be a thing of the past at Prince George's. The County Council passing a bill on Tuesday that prohibits those shops from staying open 24/7. Hours of operation will be limited to between 10 and 8 p.m. It also limits the hours when they can have signage lights on and moves the shops to industrial zones. Well, State Treasurer Derek Davis announces that the three major bond rating agencies have reaffirmed Maryland's AAA bond rating and noted a stable outlook. The news comes just ahead of next week's competitive sale of general obligation bonds. Davis says the news ensures that interest rates on the state's bonds will remain low. Maryland is one of 13 states to hold the coveted AAA rating, which is the highest possible. And you're watching CTV News. I'm Byron Scott. Stay tuned. More news in just a bit.
You could feel in control of your retirement in just a few clicks. At aceyourretirement.org, you can. Start with a free 3-minute chat with Avo, your friendly digital retirement coach. Just answer some simple questions like, how do you feel about your ability to save for retirement? Or in how many years do you want to retire? To get free action items customized just for you, get your retirement back on track at aceyourretirement.org.
Well, car owners, listen up. The state is encouraging Maryland drivers to check for vehicle recalls. It's Vehicle Safety Recalls Week, so the MVA is asking motorists to check to see if there's a recall on your car. According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, there were more than 1,000 vehicle safety recalls in 2021. Officials say that checking for recalls should be a part of a car's regular maintenance. All repairs due to recalls are free to authorized dealerships. Well, in honor of Women's History Month, we take a look at gender inequity in business leadership, an issue recently studied by Executive Alliance. The organization finds a shortage of females in Maryland boardrooms, that despite a Maryland law that set a goal of 30% participation of all women in all institutions and companies doing business in the state by the end of 2022.
When we look at the trajectory of women's representation on corporate boards and in the C-suite, in the publicly traded companies, at the current level of growth, women would reach parity in 2038. Maryland has 23% of their public company board seats are held by women. And women of color, I think, have, if I'm not mistaken, about 3.8% of those seats. The representation of women of color in those C-suites and corporate boards is abysmal.
Women's History Month runs throughout the month of March. Well, as we told you yesterday, a special blood drive is set for next week. PG Changemakers, County Council Member Crystal Oriafa, and Sickle Cell Coalition of Maryland are hosting the drive aimed at decreasing blood donations from African Americans and spreading awareness about sickle cell anemia. According to the coalition, blood donation rates of African Americans is less than 50% than that of whites.
So our primary goal is basically to encourage our community to donate blood. Within the African American community, because of past trauma and fear, we do not donate blood. And so the purpose of Black donors coming to donate blood is so that we can have a donor supply that is cross-matched within our community, within our culture. And so those who will come would donate blood, of course, but they'll also learn about sickle cell disease, another reason why we're collecting blood in our county, particularly in Prince George's County. There's over 2,000 patients with sickle cell disease.
The drive is set for Friday, March 17th from 1 to 6 p.m. at the District Heights Municipal Building on Marbury Drive. Well, a new survey shows that the COVID-19 pandemic had a major impact on the mental health concerns of public, middle, and high school students. The Maryland Health Department recently released data from its 2021-2022 Youth Risk Behavior Survey and Youth Tobacco Survey. Officials say the survey is designed to identify risk behaviors that Maryland youth experience, like bullying, substance abuse, and mental health issues. The new findings show that 37% of middle and 39% of high school students reported feeling sad and hopeless for at least 2 weeks in the last year.
We saw a drastic increase in mental health concerns among our high school and middle school students, feeling most of the days that their mental health is not good, feeling sad and hopeless. So we unfortunately did see a drastic increase in these measures, and particularly looking at LGBTQ populations. And also what we saw was a big increase, a drastic increase in mental health concerns among female students compared to their male peers.
Nearly 58,000 public, middle, and high school students were surveyed. Well, the first phase of prep work has started for a multi-year deck replacement of the Chesapeake Bay Bridge. The Maryland Transportation Authority says you'll see a tall crane on the nearly 50-year-old eastbound span. The second crane will arrive in late spring. The agency is asking drivers and boaters to stay alert during the construction preparation. The $140 million deck replacement gets underway this fall. Major work will be done during the overnight hours. Well, Northern Virginia native Samaya Williams saw a void in the fitness community during her time as a personal trainer. That void was the lack of safe spaces for women. Now she's running Her Flex Fitness, a strength and conditioning studio located in Forestville, specifically for the women of Prince George's County.
I really felt like women deserve to have a safe space. I know that so many women complain about going into commercial gyms and really not knowing what to do, which results in them staying on cardio machines for hours and hours and hours and really not getting the results that they wanted. On top of being catcalled and, just being nervous to go to the weightlifting section. So I figured if we create a space where it's just women, where I can teach them how to properly lift weights, then they can in turn get the results that they want for their body. And then just being surrounded by like-minded women, it builds their confidence. They just feel more comfortable, more confident all around.
And tune in tomorrow for the full story of Her Flex Fitness. Well, more news after the break. Stay tuned.
Kids start vaping. And I can't let this happen to my kid. So if you want to talk to your kids, you have to get it trending.
No, you're doing it wrong.
Let's go.
Can we talk?
Yeah, what's up?
Visit talkaboutVaping.org for tips on when and how to have the vape talk.
And sports news, consistently inconsistent. That's the best way to describe the Washington Wizards. The Wizards took to the court against the Atlanta Hawks last night. Center Kristaps Porzingis had a great performance, scoring a career-high 43 points, and Kyle Kuzma scored 25 points and pulled down 10 rebounders. But the turnovers plagued the Wizards. They turned the ball over 17 times and made a crucial mistake with just seconds left, leading to a 122-120 loss.
I thought the effort was great. You know, there were a lot of mental lapses that, you know, you'd like to have back. You know, had opportunities down the stretch, missed 3 or 4 layups, you know, right there at the rim. So we had chances, you know, to go away with it, but it just didn't go in our favor.
I mean, obviously you want to win the game. You know, it's tough because these games matter, and, you know, winning this game or, you know, really the next game is really going to be a big game because that's the tiebreaker game. But, you know, we just know we play them again, and, you know, we got to keep pushing.
And the Wizards take on the Atlanta Hawks again tomorrow night. It's time for your pet of the week.
Is Missy, who's here in my office with me. Missy is a 1-year-old female Labrador Retriever. She came in as a stray. Missy is an energetic girl. We think that she's between 10 months to a year old, so she does have a lot of energy. We have not seen any type of aggressive behavior from Missy. I just walked her through the kennel with a lot of other dogs and she didn't react. So we think that she would be okay with another dog in the home. Kids would be fine as well. She's very friendly, very outgoing.
Adopt Missy or any other animal, call the number on your screen. Let's take a check now at our 3-day weather forecast tonight. Cloudy with a low around 34 degrees. Tomorrow, a mix of rain and snow with highs of 45. Tomorrow night, rain with temps as low as 36. And Saturday, rain continues with temps peaking at 48. Saturday night, the rain will stop and temps will fall as low as 29. Sunday, partly sunny with the high near 47. Sunday night, rain will start again with a low of around 38 degrees. And that's our news for tonight. I'm Byron Scott. We'll see you tomorrow night. Good night.